My name is Frank, and I'm in Atlanta. And my wife and I are real estate investors. Mainly, we are a affordable housing providers in the Atlanta area. So we have a few mortgages that we are trying to reduce our expenses on going forward. And one case in point is the one that I brought to Don's attention last night. Like I mentioned, I started making payments, a $1,000 extra payment in June of 21, and I paid a total of 7 payments of $7,000. And I did the calculations and looked at the schedules, and I believe that $7,000 saved us somewhere in the area of $41,000 in killed interest, if my observation is correct.
I did take a look at it, Frank. And so right now, here's what we're talking about. This is Frank's amortization schedule that we have here, starting out at $187,550. Is that about right, Frank?
Yes.
And this is a rental property at 7.25%. And folks, when you talk about rental properties, these higher interest rates are not uncommon when you're talking about rental property. All right. But talk to us in terms of cash flow, and how do you determine, Frank, if property is a good investment?
Well, I mean, that's a whole nother calculation. And generally would not buy a house that has to be financed. We got this house on a good deal a long time ago, so we were able to pull money out.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm not sophisticated to calculate how much you should take with mortgages and all that stuff. So,
right.
But
what you did was you made sure that this house is making you money.
Yes.
The house is making money. So you've done the calculations that far. Then you took some cash out of here and then invested it in some other property, correct?
Correct.
Excellent. So with those calculations, that these are good moves because you are an experienced real estate investor. All right. So here's the thing. Being experienced in real estate investing, had you ever considered how much interest you are actually paying, not the interest rate, but the interest cost on your loans? Have you ever really considered that before meeting the P.I.L.L method?
I consider it frequently, but I just did it this time,
Mm-hmm.
It's from a philosophical point of view. And, we did it, like I said, from June to the end of the year. So we had some data,
Mm-hmm.
right? And I was able to go back and say, okay, we did this money. This is the action we took. And here's the results. And so we had some data. So that it was kind of overwhelming just to realize that something we actually did. It's not something that, happened on TV, on Don's, on the YouTube.
All right. So here's what we're talking about, folks. We had 7 months worth of data. He didn't have our system. He just heard me talking and says, well, we can actually save quite a bit of money by what I just heard. And here's what we're talking about, folks. Look at these principal payments here. We have principal payments right here, starting out about $146.31. Look at the interest payment here, $11.33. Okay, $11.33 here. So by every $1,000, just kind of imagine, with me. And I did some other calculations, Frank, and I believe you still saved about $35,000 just putting $1,000 on extra a month. So when not only did you make a payment, okay, look here, not only did you make a payment, a regular payment, but putting an extra $1,000, you get to divide these small principal payments into that $1,000. So you can knock off 1, 2, you knock off about 6 payments every time you do that. 5 or 6 payments every time you do that. So folks, this is where he is right now. This is where he started. And this is where he is right now, owing about $175,256. Now, it's not going to be exactly right because every time you put extra money on a loan, you alter the original amortization schedule. But if we go down to 175,000, this is where he is 7 months later. So boop, 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 boop. Here we are, 175,000. We're still moving. I don't want to go too fast because I want to pass it. Right here, about 175,256. And right about in here, 175,256, right around payment number 69. Payment number 69. He's already down there in 7 months. So, Frank, what payment would you be on if you had just kept making your monthly payments like normal?
37.
Payment number 37. So
December was actually the 3-year anniversary.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so you would have been 37 payments in. And folks, at 37 payments in, okay, now remember, instead of 68, he would be at 36 instead. All right, right here, where he would have paid down his loan by $5,863.99, but it will cost $40,000 in interest to do that. $40,000 normally. This property is still making money, but for most real estate investors, they're not looking at the fact that $5,800 in equity cost me $40,000 in interest to obtain. So now I'm acquiring the same asset. And now I'm not 36 months in. And what line did I say we were on?
69 or 68.
Right around in here. Look at this. This is crazy. Okay. And now we have over $12,000 in principal paid and saving about $35,000 in interest. It takes a lot of calculations to come up with an exact number, Frank, but somewhere between $35,000 and $40,000 in interest saved. Tell us, what does that mean to you now?
Well, it also means that it's 3 years of our life. We don't have to work for the house anymore at the end.
But Don has some valuable information that can contribute to the quality of a person's life. And it only costs you a few dollars. It's his book. Why not get that?
I'm going to go through the P.I.L.L method myself with some of my investment properties. So I'm going to link up with Don, and then I'm going to sit down with him, show him my investment portfolio, and see how I can eliminate interest.